with Premier League Dad. How are we all doing, other Premier League dads? How are we all doing, Premier League mums? Wherever you are in the world. Forgive me, I'm still setting up my whole audio setup. Yeah, that's about right. How are we all doing? How's your Monday been? How are you looking forward to this game? Leicester City against Newcastle United. I mean, a massive game, certainly for Newcastle. I think for Leicester, look, let's be straight. Leicester have lost, 15 out of the last 16 games? I mean, I don't know of a manager in Premier League history who's been as ineffective as Ruud van Nistelrooy has been since he's come in at Leicester City. He's just made absolutely zero impact on the team. If anything, reinforced how horrific the team is. I mean, at least when you saw even Ivan Juric has taken Southampton down. He's taken Southampton down, but as soon as he came into Southampton, there was an immediate uplift, wasn't there, in application? We saw Southampton go to Old Trafford and run United close. We saw them, they came to Anfield, ran Liverpool close. They've played well and just not been able to get over the line. They went to the City ground, ran Nottingham Forest close, maybe could have nicked a point in that one. There's a number of games with Southampton where you look at it and go, yeah, well, I mean, he came in, they're quite obviously a championship team, but he definitely got a bit more out of them, and there was a marked improvement from here to here since what's his name, Russell left. Since that, since he left and Juric came in, there was an obvious change from Russell Martin to Ivan Juric. It was a very clear change. There's no change at all from Steve Cooper to Van Nistelrooy. If anything, there's Leicester City fans telling me we were better under Steve Cooper. And that's why there's been protests at the club. So, look, it's going to be a really, really interesting game, I think, from a Newcastle point of view, because we absolutely have to see Newcastle win here. I mean, a win here for Newcastle, they would be 4 points behind Nottingham Forest in the race for the Champions League with a game in hand. I mean, it makes that race for the Champions League so much more intense if Newcastle win here, and I do think they will. I do think we'll see a Newcastle win, and quite a comfortable one, to be honest. It's a difficult time for Leicester fans, isn't it, to come and watch their team at the minute. But I'm really looking forward to it. I'm interested to see how we get on. Just catching up with the chat. Kane Delap is Man United's #1 striker target, according to reliable reports. That's interesting, because there's reports shot out today about Cunha, isn't there? Cunha in United. I mean, look, there seems to be loads of strikers linked with Manchester United, and I imagine there'll be loads linked between now and the end of the season, across the summer. It's just the nature of the beast. Something tells me there's not going to be a mass of strikers who are desperate to move to Manchester United in the summer. It doesn't seem a club that's really all that set up for success just yet. So, yeah, I think Man United are going to have to wait around a little bit. I actually expect, I'm calling this now, I could be wrong, I guess we'll see, but my prediction is that Man United will get their striker target very, very late in the window. And I think that'll be because their striker target, whoever it is, will have other clubs that they're waiting on. So I've been saying it all season. I think United will go after, say, Gyökeres, and Gyökeres will go, okay, I will go to United, but only if move A, move B, and move C falls through. He might have Arsenal lined up, he might have Barcelona lined up, he might have a move to somewhere else with Champions League football, maybe a little bit more stable for him. And I think he'll have clubs lined up. And then if all goes to pot, okay, fine, yeah, I'll come to United. Yeah, then at that point, fine, I'll come to Manchester United. And there'll be players down Man United's list, by the way, because Man United aren't, you'd hope, a terribly ran club anymore. Man United will go to Gyökeres, and then they'll go, right, okay, well, he's telling us that we're not his priority. We'll go to Cunha. We'll go to Delap. We'll go to David. Until we find a striker that says, oh yeah, I'd love to play for Manchester United. But that's how these games, the summer, the transfer activities, that's how it all works. That is how it all works. Everyone's playing each other off against each other. Everyone's, trying to get the best deal. The clubs are trying to make the players feel special. The players are trying to get the best move for them. You know, agents are stirring the pot between everyone and saying, oh, well, you better be quick if you want him. There's other clubs ready to move. You're going to have to move quick. And it terrifies clubs, and they end up diving in often. And United do need a striker. United really, really need a striker. Callum done 2 hours and 30 at the gym today, burnt 600 calories on the CrossFit. Good lad, well done. It's really good, that, mate. This isn't actually mine. It's my little girl's. We got her a Happy Meal. And I needed a drink. She needed a drink. So, I just ended up having a little bit of a Diet Coke. I just wanted some ice. It's so hot in here. It's been so hot today. So, I genuinely didn't have anything, I promise you. But I needed the drink. Cunha will play in that 10 position. If he were to sign, I think we'll end up with Delap. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's other clubs that will maybe jump ahead of you in the queue for Delap. I think Liverpool could be one of them, by the way, as well. I would be amazed if Liverpool maybe don't get involved in the race for Delap. But, yeah. Let's see. Let's see how it pans out tonight. There are lots and lots of rumours flying around tonight as well about Virgil van Dijk. I don't want to escape that before the game comes on. We've got 8 minutes to kick off. Lots and lots of rumours flying around about Virgil van Dijk and whether or not he has or is about to sign a contract. Apparently he made a comment earlier this week, I think it was today actually, saying that there is progression. There has been progress in his contract talks with Liverpool, and that he's very, very close to staying. He'd love to stay at the club. I am paraphrasing there. That's not the exact phrasing. I haven't got the statement in front of me, but he did say to an interviewer words to that effect, that he loves the club, he'd love to stay, and there has been progress on contract talks, which, again, every Liverpool fan has known this for some time. It does feel now that there's kind of movement on the whole Trent saga that actually everyone's realising Trent's going. Everyone knows he's going. The players, his teammates, the fans, Slot, Real Madrid. He might as well have been posing with a Real Madrid shirt by this point. We know he's going. We've known he's going for some time. Go, buy, whatever, He'll go. Van Dijk and Salah will stay. That's been the rumour that's been floating around the club for at least 6 or 7 months. And the reason that Salah and Van Dijk hasn't already been announced, even though allegedly it's already been tied up months ago, before Christmas, is because they didn't want to put a spotlight on Trent. Because if they come out as a club and they say, yep, Van Dijk and Salah, they are done, they are all signed, the contracts are done, we're amazed, we're pleased to have them at the club, everyone would immediately go, that's great, that's fantastic, but what about Trent? What's going on with him? What's going on with him? And then the full spotlight is on Trent, and that wouldn't be fair. Whereas Van Dijk and Salah have done the leadership thing, the captain, the vice-captain thing of saying, okay, we'll protect Trent, we'll protect the team, we'll take the focus off him, and we'll keep it on us three, as a unit. It's us three. So yeah, I fully expect that Van Dijk signs. I think he probably signs for another, I would say 2, maybe 3. It wouldn't surprise me if he signs for 3. It's the same with Salah. Both are going into their 33rd year, and I think both aren't really showing any signs of slowing down. I mean, they will show signs of slowing down eventually. They're not going to keep playing 50 games a season at full pelt and being world class. They are going to slow down eventually. Inevitably they will. But they've still got so much time at the top, and they're still such an asset to Liverpool that it would be horrendous to think of a Liverpool without those 2 next year. We can stomach Trent leaving, I think, because we have Conor Bradley, and we have, I think we can go out and get a right back that is maybe not as good as Trent, but can help Liverpool in a different way, can maybe change how the team plays a little bit. There are other right backs out there that I think could do a really good job for a successful Liverpool side next year. But keeping Salah and Van Dijk as part of the leadership team at the club, keeping the core of the team, I think is so important. So, yeah, I think that's a big, big move. Arsenal, Gyökeres, Osimhen, Chelsea, United, Delap. Maybe, yeah. Osimhen's an interesting one. I am interested to see what happens with Osimhen. Kane, I don't think you need a right back. Well, we're gonna have to get one. We are gonna have to get one. I mean, unless we keep Joe Gomez, that's the only thing I can think of, is that maybe Slot keeps Joe Gomez and repurposes him as a right back. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he wants a proper right back to either cover for Conor Bradley. This is going to be the interesting thing. Whether or not Slot goes, let's sign a right back who is much older, maybe 27, 28, who can come in and step straight into the team. And we've got Conor Bradley then coming through. Or if they went out and signed like a Frimpong, or someone who is probably going to be at the top of their game for another 5-6 years, that probably stunts Conor Bradley's growth. So they might go out and buy a much older right back, a 29, 30-year-old, kind of like what they did with Tsimikas, and they've still got Conor Bradley there. I think they won't stunt Conor Bradley's growth. Conor Bradley, they will want to keep playing games. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how that goes. Hey, Prem Dad, you seen Van Dijk's close to extending and that Konate wants 200k? I did see, we've just talked about the Van Dijk thing. Konate wanting 200 grand, I kind of don't blame him. Well, I really don't blame him. I think if you're Virgil van Dijk getting paid whatever he's getting paid, 250, maybe 300, I don't know, but yeah, if you're Konate, you have to be clearing 200. Liverpool have got some top players, by the way, on really, really low wages, because we've always had them on like heavy incentives. That's how Liverpool is run. Yeah, exactly, there you go. Konate's only on 80k at the minute. How long has Konate been one of the best centre-backs in the world? At least 2 or 3 years. He's on 80 grand. Like, I know we're acting like that's a pittance, and it's not. It's still a load of money. But in the grand scheme of football, it's not. It's quite cheap. I mean, Luis Diaz is on about 65k. He's on less than most of the Bournemouth team, Luis Diaz. He's been starting for Liverpool in, Champions League finals, and, he's been around a very, very good Liverpool team that's won pretty much everything while he's been there. So, I can understand Luis Diaz he would have demanded 200k as well this summer, and the club have just gone, well, we don't want to give you 200k, so we'll just sell you. So that's why Diaz is definitely going this summer. So, yeah, watch out for that one. Konate could play at right back. No, I don't think we've ever played Konate at right back. He's so good at centre back. Lindelof is 120k. Lindelof's 120k. That's a lot, isn't it? For him, anyway. What is going on with TikTok tonight? Feels like we've had absolutely nobody in how many people have we got on TikTok at the minute? Feels like we've had a major issue. I think I might be shadow banned on TikTok for some reason. Because we have literally had about 5 people in the chat for the last 2 lives. We had nobody in for the Manchester derby, and nobody in for the game tonight, it looks like. Let me have a little look-see. Come on. Yeah. Salah gets 380 or something, and we're going to give him 410 a week. Apparently, no, Salah doesn't get 380. I'm sure Salah's still only about 4th or 5th in the Premier League wage league table. And I think what the club will probably do is they won't pay him more, but I think his agent has probably pushed for. Because this is the thing, if Salah drops off next season, you don't want a player on 300 grand a week at 34, 35, 36. That's the real problem for Liverpool. That's the real problem for Liverpool with Salah. You can't keep playing. You can't keep players on that much money at the club. It's insane. You can't do it. Right, we're underway here. So, yeah, let's see how we get on tonight. Newcastle against Leicester. Leicester against Newcastle, sorry, at the Walkers Stadium. Caleb, did you see what I sent you? I didn't, mate. I've seen that it come through. I saw a message pop up, but I was just getting everything ready for the live. So I haven't seen it as yet, but I'll have a look. I'll have a look after the game. Just coming back to Joe Gomez as well. There's quite a lot of players being linked from Liverpool with Newcastle. That's why I mention it. Because Liverpool have been linked with Alexander Isak. There's Joe Gomez and Jarrell Quanta heavily being linked with moves to Newcastle as part of some sort of a swap deal. And I just wonder whether Liverpool might be tempted and whether Newcastle might be tempted by something like that, do you think? If we were to offer Gomez plus Quanta plus maybe 20 or 30 mil. I mean, let's say the going rate for Joe Gomez is about 40, maybe 30. Going rate for Quanta, again, maybe 40. And then if we chucked in, say, 30 mil on top, it's £100 million for Isak. Does that get him? I don't know. I guess it depends what position Isak is in the summer. Because I think if Newcastle aren't playing Champions League football, which I've got to say, I think they'll win tonight, and that'll look a lot more likely they will be playing Champions League football next year. And he'll probably stay if they get Champions League football. But if he doesn't have Champions League football next season, it's so difficult to see him staying at the club. It is so difficult to see him staying at the club. Lenny Yoro has not been dribbled past in his last 12 games. I know, but that's not really all that good, is it? Because there wasn't really an awful lot of 1v1s or take-ons yesterday. Gary Neville talked about it, didn't he, in the overlap? There wasn't really an awful lot of attacking play going on. Newcastle flying forward. Oh, it's 1-0. It's 1-0. It's Murphy. Murphy at the back stick. Who was that who crossed it in from the left-hand side? It was Joe Linton out to, I think it was Harvey Barnes. And Leicester already a goal down. 2 minutes in. This is disgusting. There you go. Goal. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Look at him. He's just absolutely apoplectic on that touchline. It's so poor from Leicester. Again, sloppy. They lose the 1v1 in the midfield. Joe Linton gets it, puts it out wide to, it looks like, is it Harvey Barnes? And he knocks it wide. It's Livramento, isn't it? Knocks it to Livramento. And Murphy's at the back post just with a tap in. It's just too easy. It's too easy. Oh, it must be so frustrating from a Leicester City point of view. Yeah, it is Livramento. Good ball in. Keeper's nowhere near it. Fullback's nowhere near it. They don't stop the cross. Just poor all round. Very, very poor. Bologna 0, Napoli 1 in Serie A for anyone who's interested. Edward, I've just looked at what Salah is on a week and it's come back with what? Yeah, you say Newcastle don't take them two. Newcastle are desperate for central defenders. They've got Dan Burn, who's getting on. They've got Botman, who's broke. They've got Fabian Schär, getting on. Jamal Lascelles, broke. They probably need 3 centre-backs in the summer if they want to make a real push at the Champions League. I mean, Dan Burn, Schär, maybe they can still do a job, but you definitely need at least 2 solid, reliable starting centre-backs. Botman's been out half the season. Lascelles, again, big injuries, and he's getting on. So, I know Joe Gomez has had his injuries, but when he's fit, I think he's more reliable in terms of his fitness record than someone like Botman, for example. And Kwanzaa's one of the best young centre-backs around. Kwanzaa's been in the England squad already at 21. He's played he's played at right back as well. I think Kwanzaa would be a really good signing for someone like Newcastle. He's not quite Liverpool standard, I would say. But I think if he played regularly at a club, maybe lower down the table, he might get to a top centre-back. He's just not quite there yet. They don't really improve them if we're going off form, possibly Kwanzaa. But he has paused. Kwanzaa's, I think Kwanzaa could be a good one. Like I said, it might not be Gomez and Kwanzaa, but I think Kwanzaa almost certainly is one to look at. I think Newcastle would get involved with Jarrell Kwanzaa, definitely. Nick Pope comes out and clears it. Isak is like the golden egg, isn't he? Maybe Kwanzaa, Nunez and money. I don't think Nunez goes there. I think Nunez almost certainly is a move to Saudi. And the thing is, I think there's no way we would pay Kwanzaa and Nunez and money. That's madness. If Darwin Nunez leaves Liverpool, he's going for 60 to 70 million quid. And we'll recover most of what we spent on him if he goes to Saudi. Kwanzaa, again, I would be surprised if it's anything less than 40. Maybe 35, I don't know. He's not started an awful lot, but he's still a very good young player that's in and around the England squad. Liverpool are generally quite good at getting value for players, so it wouldn't even surprise me if he went for more than that. So I don't think he's getting anywhere near that for Nunez. He will, mate. I'm telling you, Nunez will go for big cash. Definitely. He's still young. He's not, he's not dusted as a striker. And again, when he's played, he's looked really good. Like when he started a run of games, he just doesn't get a start. He just doesn't get a lot of starts for Liverpool. He's in and out of the team too much. Saudi already offered 60 odd million for him. I think the reason we kept Nunez in January, apparently there was a big offer from Saudi. I don't know what the numbers were, but apparently there was a big offer for him in January, and Liverpool kept him because of trying to make sure we got the league title over the line. It's the same with Trent. Real Madrid offered 25-30 million in January, and we said no, we'd rather keep him. In hindsight, I think the club might have took the money. Good ball in. Chance for Leicester. Got the ball cleared away by Newcastle. Breaking news. Kuna wants United move. Numerous sources have said. I haven't seen that he wants the United move, just that his agent is talking to a number of clubs, including United. That was the move. That was the report from the Manchester Evening News reporter. I don't think it's necessarily that Kuna wants United. Got to keep a balance on these things, Caleb, because I'm almost certain that Kuna will have an awful lot of offers this summer, and United will probably be one of the least attractive ones. Again, still a big club, but unless United win the Europa League, they're a car crash of a club at the minute. Like, let's be straight. It's tough. It's a tough sell, Manchester United, at the minute. It's a tough sell. It's not great football. It's not easy on the eye. The club needs a lot of players to get back to where they should be. There's a big rebuild that needs to happen. I've one of my biggest videos over the last week on my channel has been how many players do Manchester United need to get back to where they were around, even if we just say around the top 5, in and around the Champions League places. And the vast majority of people seem to indicate that United need at least 7 to 10 players not all starters, but at least 7 to 10 players in that squad to get United back to a level. And that includes a lot of players leaving. You know, the likes of Lindelof, Eriksen, Casemiro, Maguire maybe Onana, maybe Højlund. You know, there's a lot of players that still need to leave. And a lot of players, by the way, who United have still got money owing for as well. Like, you know, your Sanchos, your Antonys. What happens with that? Oh, he's done him. Oh, off the bar, must be. Tap in. Oh, it's 2. Does he give that? It's Murphy again. I tell you what, who scored? Who hits that from distance? That is unbelievable. Fabian Schär. That was sensational. The Leicester keeper comes out, tries to clear it away, comes back to the halfway line. That was unreal. That was absolutely unreal. I cannot believe what I've just seen. From a Leicester City point of view, that is astonishing. It's Leicester passing it around at the back. They get it all wrong. A pass into midfield. Schär wins it. Has a shot from the halfway line. Murphy's miles onside. It beats the keeper. Hits the bar. Comes out. And Murphy's got all the time in the world to smash it in. 2-0. Wonderful, wonderful shot from Fabian Schär. And yeah, Murphy's got 2. It's Leicester 0, Newcastle 2 inside 11 minutes. That stadium is going to empty. It's so difficult watching Leicester at the minute if you're a Leicester fan. I mean, it's hard enough watching them if you're not a Leicester fan. Kane, I know Cunha is a United fan and would love to play for us. He said it around a year and a half ago. I know. Do you know what though, mate? There's a difference between I'm a United fan and I'd love to play for my, you know, for the club that I supported or whatever, and is it a good career move? And you would be amazed at how cold these players can be in terms of, I mean, they're supported by their agents, they're supported by their families. A lot of them don't make, in fact, I would say not even all of them, most of them don't make decisions with the heart. Certainly about which club they go to. Maybe they'll make decisions with the heart in terms of, should I stay or should I go? You know, there's a lot of, Gerrard, for example, made a decision of the heart. Maybe cold emotionally, he would have left because it was probably a better decision for his career to leave Liverpool, but he stayed. It was, you know, his heart ruled his head. But in terms of which club do I go to, Cunha's not picking Manchester United because he maybe had a brief affinity for them as a child. You know, the guy's from Brazil. Isaac just fired one into the side net. The guy's from Brazil. He might have liked Man United and watched Premier League on the telly over there, but it's not like he came to Old Trafford as a child and it's like he adored Ryan Giggs or whatever. He probably supported Santos or Flamengo or Fluminense and he just liked United. They were his Premier League side or whatever. He might have an affinity for the club, but that is not going to be the reason that he chooses United over a club that has Champions League football or a club that looks a better prospect for him. It just doesn't work like that, I don't think. Caleb, do you think Cunha is better than Isaac? It's difficult to say because I don't necessarily think he's better. Is a difficult word in that I think Cunha could be a better striker for some clubs than Isaac. Yes, I do. I think if you put, as I said, I made this point earlier in the season, I think if you put Alexander Isak up front for Wolves would probably have won less points than they have done with Cunha. Because I think Cunha's created more goals out of nothing and contributed more goals than Isak has. Isak gets loads of chances in this Newcastle side. He gets loads of them. He's surrounded by much better players. And Cunha doesn't get much credit for that. So, I don't necessarily think that Cunha is better. Isak, I think, is probably the better centre-forward in a big team. But it's different systems suit different players. As we've seen. You know, there's loads of players who go to one club, don't look right, go to another club, look world beaters. Sancho. Loads of United players. Sancho, Anthony, McTominay, Smalling. Sometimes environment, system, manager, partner next to you in defence, partner next to you in midfield, the striker you play with, the striker you play behind, the midfielders you play with. It is a team game. So I think it's a lot to do with the team rather than just, is Isak better than Cunha? It's a tough question to answer. If we win Europa, I think we will make way better signings. If not, we're looking at £40 million players. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair, Kane. There's a lot riding on that Europa win for you and for Spurs. If United win it, then yes, the dimensions change on which players they can attract. And all these rumours coming out now about Cunha and Isak, this is their agents, and the clubs, by the way, doing the necessary work. This is them laying the groundwork for the summer. Because if you're Cunha's agent, you wouldn't be doing your job if you weren't leaking stories to the press and saying this is happening, this is happening, and getting the press to publish stories about it to raise the player's profile and increase the, because this is the thing. If you're an interested club, let's say Arsenal, for example. Arsenal have been heavily linked with Cunha. Maybe, again, it's all if buts and maybes, right? But let's say that Arsenal are very much interested in Cunha, but they're a little bit on the fence about whether or not he is definitely their choice of centre forward. Maybe they're on the fence, and there's a couple of others they're not quite sure on. Maybe it's Cunha, maybe it's Gyökeres, maybe it's Sesko. Maybe they go all in on Isak and they spend pretty much all of their budget trying to convince him. Because that's a difficult deal to do, whether Newcastle are in the Champions League or not. So, let's say that Arsenal do want Cunha, but they're not sure. And let's say Cunha absolutely wants Arsenal. That's his priority. He wants to move to Arsenal. The way as an agent, the way you would encourage Arsenal to come out is by leaking stories to the press saying other teams want your player, isn't it? Like that's 101. That's politics. That's standard. You would put pressure on Arsenal to, hey, listen, it's not just you who's interested in Cunha. It's not just you who wants my guy. There's plenty of other clubs. Man United are all over him. He is their number one target, Arsenal. So if you don't pull your socks up and get your skates on, he'll go to United and he'll make them better, and they'll be above you next season. It's them sort of games that these agents play, and they're very, very good at it. And clubs will rush and panic and go, "Oh my God, he's right. No, you know what we do? We need to go and get Cunha. We need to go and get him. We can't have him going to United because it'll make us look really, really silly if we dally around all summer and United go and get a player that we should have got." Because again, that does happen. There's often disagreements at board level. Maybe Arteta thinks they should get Cunha. Maybe the new sporting director at Arsenal thinks it's someone else. It should be someone else. Maybe it should be Gyökeres. Maybe it should be another. And there's often disagreement. That is apparently what happened with Jurgen Klopp. That there was disagreement behind the scenes over key signings. Some players Klopp wanted, and he got his own way. And because he got his own way, Michael Edwards and the recruitment team above Klopp went, okay, no problem. You ask us to pick profiles of players, we say this player, and it gets disregarded, you go with him. They went somewhere else. Klopp got his mate in for a summer. And now Klopp's gone, and those guys came back. So it makes a lot of sense that was the case. Prem Dad, I'm going to send you something on X. This can't be right. I'll have a look, mate. This is going to be 5-0. I hope so. I'd like a lot of goals. I'm a bit kind of starved for goals after the Manchester derby. Caleb, look at Caicedo. He was a United fan. Again, it doesn't make a massive amount of difference unless they are Even if they're like boyhood United fans and they really are like super massive Manchester United fans, that's not going to be the reason that drives them to Manchester United. We're talking about millions of pounds, and we're talking about players' futures. And they aren't like business decisions like that, where you are committing 4, 5, maybe 6 years to a club. Your prime as a footballer, you ain't making that based on the heart, sadly. You're making it based on, right, the club, do they look set up for success? No. How close are they to success already? You know, have they already got a core of a team there that are doing well? No. How's the manager doing? Is the manager doing all right? No. What about the board level? Is the board all right? Are they stable? Is there an issue? Is there at least a good kind of backroom sort of setup? No. Okay. What about the facilities then? Is the training ground good? Is the training ground good? Is the stadium? It's the grand old stadium. Nope. They're knocking all that down. So unless there's Champions League football, like I said, United is a very, very hard sell. It is a very, very hard sell, and United are going to be shopping in the not the bargain bin. That would be unfair, but they'll be shopping in the strikers that nobody else prioritised bin. That's what I think. United will either get a striker that no one else wanted. Newcastle, nearly 3. It's gone behind for a corner. Good block by Connor Cody. United will be shopping in the strikers that nobody else wanted bin. Or they will go and get, and they will prioritise, a striker that nobody else had really even thought of. Like, for example, player at Villarreal, Tierno Barry. Very good player. Big lad as well. He could be a good centre-forward for United, maybe, in time, with the right setup. And again, he could be United, a profile player that they bring in, and maybe they sell him on in a few years, and they try to... Oh, such poor corner. That's a really poor corner from Newcastle. Edward, Isak is miles better than Cunha. In certain systems, yes. In certain systems, absolutely, definitely. But yeah, agree, Kane. 2 totally different players. Caleb, tomorrow is going to be mint because of the Arsenal game. What is your prediction? Mine is 1-0 Real. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Arsenal sit deep. And yeah, I think maybe 1-1. Maybe 1-1. Do you know what I might do? I might go Real Madrid or draw, under 3 goals in the game. That's probably a decent bet. Edward, if Cunha was that good, he would have been kept by Atletico. I mean, if Salah was that good, he would have been kept by Chelsea. If De Bruyne was that good, he'd have been kept by Chelsea. You can apply that logic to a load of players, mate. It doesn't always work like that. Again, some players fit, and sometimes they don't fit. Like I say, there's lots of United players who've left and gone on to wonderful things. Look at Diego Forlan. Diego Forlan flopped at Manchester United, and he went on and won the Pichichi trophy in Spain with Villarreal and with Atletico Madrid. Phenomenal striker. Scored in the Europa League final. Brilliant player. Really underrated striker, actually, Diego Forlan. Apparently Chelsea are making their decision on Sancho in May. Okay. I can't see how they can't get rid of him, can they? They've got to sign him now, haven't they? That's good driving forward by Leicester, and that's a foul and a yellow card, surely. What? Does he not give that? How does he not give that? That's madness. He was driving forward. I don't know who that was. Was it Sumare? I've no idea who that was. But they were driving forward for Leicester. And it was a great run, to be honest. He carried it all the way. I think it looks like Patson Daka, actually. Just looking, who's the number 20? The number 20 for Leicester is Daka. Thought it was. Yeah, he was flying forward. That looked like a clear foul. Really surprised. Not going to lie, United fumbled on letting Sancho go. He's so much better than their front three, except Ahmad. Again, I would have to say that Sancho is a player that could work in certain systems with certain managers if he got a bit more, I don't know, whatever, a bit more support and maybe a touch better players around him. You know, we've seen him when he's gone to Dortmund. He's looked like a world beater. It's hard to look at a player and say, how can you go from being that good to that bad? And then back to that good, because he went back to Dortmund on loan. He was brilliant again. So it's mad that it just in certain environments, players will thrive. Edward, as soon as Klopp left, I knew there was something not right. He defo fell out with someone. Yeah. Well, you can tell that. I mean, the issue with Edwards and then Ward, it didn't work out. You could tell there was issues behind the scenes. And that's what a lot of players will look at. In the cold light of day, they will look at, is there a good setup? Is there a cohesive team behind a good recruitment team that's able to build up that team for me? Because they're going to be my teammates. Is that club able to attract the best players? And have they got an owner or owners that are willing to invest the money to get them those players? Once they've been identified by whoever United's, it was Dan Ashworth, but whoever that player, Omar Barada now, if Omar Barada identifies a player, have they got the money to go and get him? No. In a lot of cases, no. Unless they win the Europa League and get Champions League money coming in, nope. Joshua Zirkzee looks a cracking player, mind. He looks a capable player. Again, someone that you could probably put in a system just off the centre forward, maybe, as one of those two floating central midfielders just behind the number 10s. If you put Bruno and Zirkzee just off him, yeah, that'd be quite a good little system, but it'd have to be the right centre forward. It'd have to be someone very, very mobile. If you've got Zirkzee, who doesn't have a lot of pace, and Fernandes, who doesn't have a lot of pace, behind him, you need a really good runner. And you need your wing-backs very, very high. Kuna isn't a striker, he's a CAM. Again, I'm not sure I agree with that, Edward. He plays at centre forward for Wolves quite a lot. He has played wide and he has played a bit deeper, but I think if you'd be surprised if Liverpool come in for him, for example, I think he'd be starting at centre forward for us. And I think if Arsenal come in, he'd be starting at centre forward for them. He isn't going to play in a midfield three. He's not going to be replacing Odegaard. He's going to be replacing Havertz. And if he comes to Liverpool, he's going to be replacing Szoboszlai. He's going to be replacing Jota or Nunes. 42, 60 million for you, my friend. 60 million for me, what? I don't want any United players. Dreadful. Jadon Sandwich. No. We don't want Jadon Sancho at Liverpool. I think Klopp would have, though. Klopp would have. I think Klopp might have got a bit more out of him. But then again, look, Klopp wanted Julian Brandt and apparently didn't want Mo Salah. Allegedly. It's not Sancho, it's Nelson Mandela Freedom. Right, Newcastle have basically got this game wrapped up inside half an hour. I mean, they had it wrapped up inside 11 minutes. So it's probably just a case of how many now. So, yeah, let me know how many you're thinking. Murphy Hattie for my FPL. You've put Murphy in this game. Seriously. Fair play. Good going. You know what's funny? Ndidi and El Kanous are the only two good Leicester players. And El Kanous has got a big future. I think El Kanous will do well. He'll go somewhere. Or I suspect El Kanous probably stays at Leicester, and maybe we see what happened with Mahrez happen with him, where he goes down, does really well in the Championship, comes back. Oh, good save. Who was that on the left-hand side? Pope pushes it behind for a corner. El Kanous, yeah. El Kanous would be good for United. I agree. If you sold Garnacho, players like... This is the thing. I don't understand why United don't take more risks with players. I think that's... The profile United should be looking for is not the players in the 60, 70, 80 million pound bracket. They should be... Look at Cunha. They've missed a trick. I think Cunha is not the player United should be going for. And nor is Gyökeres. And nor is anyone else you care to mention. They should be going for players exactly like... Yeah, El Kanous. Go and get a load of really good, young, 20, 22, 23, young players with really high potential and bring them in. And players who you can identify have got big futures. Bournemouth took a chance with Hyson. It's paid off massively. Now maybe it didn't pay off, but they was always going to get at least their money back. I think United could take a lot of, places like Brighton. Look at Brighton. I think United should do that model, because they're a big club, and there's a lot of young players that would see United as a... when Caicedo was offered to United and they passed it up for whatever it was. They got offered him for £6 million, didn't they? From was it Independiente del Val in Ecuador? He got offered to United for £6 million, and they went, nah, you're all right. Went to Brighton a year later, was sold for £100 million not long after that. Or was it 110? Yeah, loads of examples of that. That's why I think we're going for Delap. Yeah, Delap is in that bracket, because Delap is not an obvious United signing, but he would be very, very good. I think Diblin is another one. Delap, Diblin, they are both United signings. I think they would be very, very good as well. If United went out and got Delap and got Diblin, who else could they go and get? Even Mbermo. Mbermo from Brentford. I can't tell you how much I want Liverpool to sign him. I think he's so good. He's unbelievably underrated. And every time I watch him, I think he's definitely ready for playing for a top club. And yet again, I expect that there won't be any kind of top clubs who come in for him. And it might be a Saudi team or someone like that who do. Isaac, that's poor. Joe Linton, that's so poor. And again, it's a tap-in. It's Harvey Barnes, it's 3-0. Oh. Honestly, they've got the reaction time of something that's got really slow reactions. It's really bad. Look at them, they're dead on their feet, Leicester. They are just dead on their feet. They're shaking their heads, they're looking around at each other, they're just already beaten. It's so bad. So bad. Yildiz at Juventus is on United's list. Yildiz would be an interesting one. I think I keep calling him Angel Gomez. He's not. It's Angel Gomez, isn't it, at Lille? Angel Gomez going back to United would be an interesting one as well. Again, you're looking for low cost, young, high value. Jonathan David. Go and get Jonathan David, Angel Gomez, cost you barely anything. Go and get Tyler Diblin. Might cost. I mean, there was rumours 100 million is what Southampton wanted. Yeah, that's another example of agents doing the job. Southampton will get. They won't get flooded for offers for Tyler Diblin. Because again, the clubs will be prioritising a lot of other players first. And the first club that goes to Southampton with a solid 40 million maybe, they'll get him. Because you can't, no one's paying more than 40 million for a player in the Championship. It's just not happening. And Burmo won't be cheap, around the Cunha price, I guess, or more. Probably, yeah. Maybe 50, 60 million. 60 million doesn't seem right, actually, for Burmo. Maybe 50 at a push. Angel Gomez on a free, been screaming for that. No, please, no Angel Gomez. Why not Angel Gomez? Why wouldn't you want Angel Gomez? He's a cracking player. A really good player. I think Angel Gomez would do well at United. There you go, Leicester City fans streaming to the exits, 35 minutes in. Look at my mate there, getting the badge in. Getting the badge in on the touchline. Little Stone Island jumper. Oh, yeah. So, Johan Wisser. Yeah, Johan Wisser's a good player. Clivert. But again, all of these are players we all know. We all recognise. There's just so many. There's so many that United could go for. I want physical ground eaters at United, not some midgets. That's a fair comment. United do need some big players. Who was the lad I was looking at in the Dutch league? I recommended him sounds like I'm some big agent. I put him in a video in January where I was talking about players that people should be looking at, and the top scorer in the Eredivisie is a midfielder, and it's a top scorer by some distance. He's not taking penalties or anything like that. He's scored 23 and assisted 5. I know it's the Eredivisie and you'll say, yeah, but he's still got 28 goals and assists in 28 games for FC 20, who aren't by any stretch of the imagination the best team in the Eredivisie. They're joint 6th, I think. They're well down there. And his name's Sem Stein, right? Very, very talented player. He's only 23. Watch out for him. He will be one for the Premier League soon. Because again, you can't score 28 goals in 28 games from midfield at 23 and not get noticed. He'll be in the Dutch squad. He'll be in and around the Dutch team. Absolutely. And I can't see him not coming to the Premier League. Maybe this summer. It seems like a Palace signing, or a West Ham signing, or a Brentford signing. But they'll sign him, and then in a year's time, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, Arsenal will be... It's that sort of a player. So when you look at that, that's exactly who United should be going for. They could go and get Sem Stein now for maybe 25 million, 30 million, whatever it might be. Go and pay the money, get him in. That's a United signing, I'm telling you. Young, loads of potential, flying in another country's league. Good injury record, always available. Again, physically all there as well. I think he'd be a really good one for United. Singo at Monaco, yeah, is he the right back? Yeah, he's a beast, isn't he? Absolute monster. You think anyone still goes after Branthwaite? I'm hoping that we go after Branthwaite. I'd like Liverpool to, if for nothing else but the fume. I think we really need a centre-back, and we need a left-sided centre-back to cover for Van Dijk. And maybe not just cover, but like Kanate's had his injury. Oh, Leicester have given it away again. Isak's got a chance here. Oh, just wide. Yeah, maybe Just watching this back. Yeah, Branthwaite, I think, can cover for Konaté. He can cover for Van Dijk. Konaté's had his injury issues this season, and Van Dijk, he's getting on. So he might not be able to play every game, and if he gets a big injury, then we're knackered. If we've got Jared Branthwaite there to play all or most of the games, again, he's still very young. He's not in the England squad, so I don't necessarily think he would get the England tax. I know Everton want to... Oh, wow! Oh, and that's how you know your night's done. That's how you know your season's done. Patson Daka has just smashed one from about 30 yards. Absolutely phenomenal shot. How's he offside? He hit it from 30 yards out. Let's watch this back. He wasn't offside anyway. If that had gone in, it was a goal. Patson Daka's just smashed it with his left foot. Pope was diving for it, nowhere near it. Hits the far post, goes straight across the line, hits the other post, comes back out and hits Pope on the arse. It's a bad one. Really, really bad one. Yeah, so to me, mate, I really think that I'd love Liverpool to go out there and sign Branthwaite, but something tells me we won't. Kane, I think there'll be at least one Sporting player through the door. Conrad Harder. There's another Sporting player to watch. Everyone's going after Gyökeres. Conrad Harder, I'm telling you. Another very good young player at Sporting. Looks a little bit like Gyökeres as well. Scandinavian. I think he's Danish though, isn't he? Gyökeres is Swedish. I think Harder's Danish. Might be wrong on that one. Certainly Scandinavian, Nordic. And he's doing very well at Sporting. I think he plays wide right as well as centre forward. Very, very quick. Good finisher. Very much in the Gyökeres mould. Branthwaite, Inacio, Hato would be on my list if I'm United. Hato's been one Liverpool I've been linked with. Inacio too, actually. Inacio was one we were linked with before Klopp left. Before Amorim arrived at United. And he's a good one. He might be a good signing for United. Inacio. Definitely more reliable than Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, I think I can see that one happening. Hato probably not so much. Because I think Hato would fit at left back for us. Depends where Slot sees him playing. Can play at left back, can play at centre back, can't he? And Liverpool have apparently already signed the Kirkes deal. Apparently the Kirkes deal is all but done from Liverpool to Bournemouth. From Bournemouth to Liverpool. Rather. Hansko. Yeah, that's the guy from Feyenoord, isn't it? It's mad. Again, we've talked about this before, I'm sure we have, where I don't know if you saw how you say his name, but it's Hansko or Hanko from Feyenoord. Came out, didn't he, and said that he'd already been spoken to by Slot and by Liverpool, and you know there was a potential move happening when Slot went to Liverpool, but the club don't sign players over a certain age, and he didn't fit the age profile. I think he was already 26 or 27 by the time Slot came to Liverpool, so there was no way we were going to pay whatever Feyenoord wanted for a 27-year-old player. Just, it's not something that FSG do. They won't even look at it. They won't even consider it. Doesn't matter how good the player is. Unless the deal is perfect, it ain't happening. Right, have I got a cap on 5 people in my live? Lee, how's it going? Hope you're keeping well, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Hope you are too, buddy. I think I've got a cap. I don't know why. Maybe I've been told off. There was a warning popped up on the screen during the... I can't remember what game it was. It might have been the Wolves game, the Ipswich and Wolves game. Popped up and said Southampton manager Adam Lallana, bloody hell, to the end of the season. Player manager. Let's have a look at that. Is that the case? Lallana. Oh, he's to be assistant. There you go. Adam Lallana's being player assistant. It's going to be Simon Rusk as manager till the end of the season, and Lallana's going to be player assistant. How's that? Yeah, I think that's a good move from Southampton. But it's only going to be, again, just to fulfil the games, the obligations they've got to the end of the season. You know, I'm not sure who they go and get to get them back up. Feels like Southampton have always had this really clear identity for some time. Since Pochettino, they want to play a certain style of football and they won't regress and go back to a Sean Dyche, for example. A pragmatic, more direct style of football, even if it helps them get out of the Championship. So it'll be interesting to see who they go for. I would imagine another foreign name. There's lots of foreign coaches who'll stick quite rigidly to a certain playing style. British managers tend not to. Russell Martin was a bit of a unique one in that he insisted on playing out from the back and insisted on this style of play that clearly wasn't working. Kane, I just want this season to be over. There's a lot of... I mean, Gary Neville said that, didn't he? Again, referring back to him in the overlap, Gary Neville was saying that maybe it just feels that there's a bit of an inevitability about the season in that the title is pretty much wrapped up. I don't think it is, by the way. I don't think it is. And I am so relieved that Arsenal dropped points against Everton, because if they hadn't, we'd have been 9 points ahead and we'd have had to we've got to go away to Brighton, away to Stamford Bridge. We've got to play Palace. We've got to play Tottenham, both teams who have got decent records against us. Tottenham, Palace, away to Brighton, away to Chelsea, and Arsenal. I'm telling you, we would have dropped at least maybe 8 or 9 points in that. Maybe more, maybe 10. We could have dropped points in all of them. And if Arsenal beat us at Anfield, it could have been on. It isn't on now. It's not going to happen. They've left themselves with too much work to do too late in the season. And that's what Carragher was saying tonight. He was furious, Mikel Arteta, after that Everton game. He was furious because Carragher said, I think he still believed, maybe he still believes, but he still believed that Arsenal had a chance. Edward Brown, will Rude get sacked? I wouldn't sack him, not his fault, it's the players, they're shocking. I mean, to what extent can you not blame the manager though, mate? If you come into a club that's on this massive losing run and you lose 15 out of 16 games, you have to, even if it's not his fault, even if it isn't his fault, you still have to change the manager because he's having no impact. You can't change 25 players, but you can change one man. And if you change the manager, it can change the club. I am telling you, that Everton team, before Sean Dyche came in, that Everton team, maybe for 2 seasons running, maybe for 3, that Everton team was going down. Guaranteed, absolute certainty. Sean Dyche came in, kept them up. Definitely. You could maybe even say the same again about David Moyes. That Everton team was going down. David Moyes comes in, keeps them up. And they're not great players. They're not fantastic players. There's loads of clubs we've seen over the years where you look at them and think, oh, but hell, how have they got to that position in the Prem? Brentford, when they first came up, there was loads of players at Brentford you looked at and went, they're not that good then. Thomas Frank just gets the best out of him. Managers do have a really, really big impact. Kane, Mourinho back to the Prem next season. That's one Everton fans would like. Everton fans would love that on the sly. Mourinho back to Everton. Back to the Prem and play and for Everton. Palace is at home as it's the last game of the season. Yeah, who would bet against Palace beating us like they did last year? That really wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, Wout Faz is bad. Thought Leicester would have gone with someone, firefighter manager with relegation. I thought that. If what happens to Leicester, if what has happened to Southampton happens to Leicester, and as soon as they are confirmed as down, they sack Ruud van Nistelrooy, I will be quietly raging. Even as a Liverpool fan, I've got nothing to do with Leicester. I'll be like, what have you... Why have you sacked him? The only reason it makes sense to keep Ruud van Nistelrooy now, after 15 defeats in 16 games, the only reason it makes any sense to keep him, only reason, is if they're planning to keep him in the Championship. And keep him to try and, okay, fine, we're going to go down, we're going to break the team up, and you are going to bring us back up as our manager. I don't agree with that, but that would make sense. But to have blindly stuck with him through a run of whatever it ends up being, they'll lose again next week. I mean, Liverpool have got to play him not long after this. They've got to play a lot of teams that are going to pace them. They're going to get a battering between now and the end of the season. I can't see him picking up a single point. They are worse than Southampton. They really are. I know the points totals are different, but I am telling you, when I say this, I am absolutely certain Leicester have been worse than Southampton over the last 15, 16 games. They've been dreadful. So bad. They haven't shown up in a single game. It's been bad. Apart from maybe Spurs away, and even that, again, was a lot to do with Spurs. But yeah, the only reason they can keep Ruud is if they're going to keep him in the Championship. If they go down and sack him immediately, I'd be tearing up my season ticket if I was a Leicester fan. FM No Casuals, come on Den Haag. Oh, have you got another obscure bet on, mate? Edward, we'll beat West Ham, Leicester, Spurs, draw to Brighton, draw against Chelsea, beat Arsenal and beat Palace and League One. Nah, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure we beat West Ham at this moment in time. I hope we do. I really hope we do. Oh, I'll be so honest. I'll be terrified if we if we don't beat West Ham. Lee, and would Ruud make in the Championship? I don't think he's the right fit. Danny Rue would be a good one. I think he'll go to Saints. Yeah. There's quite a few, isn't there? I mean, what's going on with what's his name? Oh, he's at Valencia now, isn't he? For some reason, I thought he'd left. I knew he'd left West Brom, but I thought he'd been sacked by Valencia. Carlos Corberan. I was going to say there's loads of really good managers in and around the Championship that could. Like I don't understand how Danny Farker keeps getting jobs that he does. You know, there's a lot of very good out of work young managers who could do a really good job at Saints. I just don't think Ruud van Nistelrooy is right for Leicester, and I mean I thought Ivan Juric did a remarkable job at Southampton given the quality of players that he's got. I think he ran a lot of teams really close, and he was quite unlucky in a lot of games. I mean, that won't be remembered, will it? When the end of the season, when you look at the table, you just look at Southampton, maybe one of the worst teams in Premier League history. Ivan Juric will go down as the manager of that team, and you won't remember the performances. You'll just look at that stat. But I do think that he's been hard done by. I think a lot of the performances have been, let's say, spirited. Maybe they've lacked quality and they've been a little bit naive at times, but certainly spirited. And as a manager, a lot of what you can do, the only thing you can really control is if you've got 11 players who aren't of the best quality, all you can do is put them in a system that they understand and motivate them, send them out there with a bit of fire in their belly. And if you do that, 9 times out of 10, you sometimes get a result, even if the players aren't as good. Liam Rosenior, oh, what a shout that would be. Again, Liam Rosenior, I don't know why he leaves. Is it Strasbourg he's at? Is it Strasbourg? There's Liam Rosenior, there's Will Still as well. You know, there's a number of managers doing really well in League One. I don't think they'd leave for Southampton or Leicester. I mean, I guess you could say the same about Ruud van Nistelrooy. He left PSV to go and be the assistant at United and then to come to Leicester, didn't he? So, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that is what managers want. They want a championship job over a top European league. But, yeah, Liam Rosenior's have been a really, really top manager in League, and Strasbourg look a different team since he's come in. Where are Strasbourg in League One, actually? Fourth? He could be playing Champions League football next year, Liam Rosenior. You think for a second he's going to Southampton or Leicester? No chance. No chance. I'm telling you, we win our next 2 games and Arsenal draw to Ipswich, even if you disagree. Will Still is not doing well. He's not doing well this season. No, he's not doing well this season, but he did do well. I think he's been maybe a touch unlucky this season. He has been a touch unlucky this season, I think. And again, it was Ream against Strasbourg, wasn't it, the other day? But yeah, they've had a lot of players out injured, haven't they? They've had Darami out injured. They've had who's the other player, the young lad? Is it Fofana? They've had some players out injured, some good players out injured. Big injuries that normally would have played a big part, and yeah. But they did well last season, didn't they? They finished 9th, was it? 9th last season. Russell Martin, favourites for Leicester, just looked at the odds. Russell Martin might well be, yeah. He's overhyped, so... Again, I don't disagree with you. He might well be, but we're talking about potential Leicester and Southampton managers. I mean, it's a very, very short list of, managers that would be interested, young managers that want to play a certain style of football. We're talking about clubs that... I just think a lot of these clubs now, they get a little bit stuck in their own head a little bit of, we want to play a certain style and it has to be a certain... They forget about winning games. These managers, they get called dinosaurs, the likes of Warnock, Dyche, Moyes is probably another one. Managers who are able to play different styles of football. It's not always long ball. Sometimes it's direct, sometimes it's sitting deep. We've seen Everton be quite counter-attacking and play really good football on the counter. I just think there's not a lot of room in the game anymore for multi-dimensional managers. It seems like every club wants we play this way. Like Ruben Amorim at Man United, we're going to stick to a 5-3-2 or a 3-5-2, whichever way you want to look at it, or a 3-4-3-1, or whatever you want to call it, the old Christmas pudding formation. We're gonna have a certain style of play, and it's going to be rigidly this. It can't be anyone other than this. We've got to have players that fit this system, and that's it. And it's the age-old debate. Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, I remember having this exact debate about 10 years ago, whenever it was that Unai Emery was at Arsenal, and Gary Neville was like furiously saying that Unai Emery was right because he was having, I'm sure it was like Per Mertesacker and Chesney and Vermaelen trying to get him to play out. It wasn't even that. I think it was Mertesacker and Socrates at the back for Arsenal, and Chesney, and he was trying to get him to play out from the back. And Jamie Carragher's like, you've not got the players for it, mate. If you've not got the players who are quick-footed, who can, get their head up and they've got that sort of 360 vision to knock it round a corner, or they'll just get pressed to death. And Arsenal were giving goals away. And Unai Emery kept sticking with this style. He kept having them go and play out from the back with players who weren't able to do it. And Carragher was like, well, no, if you've only got players who can play that way, your job is to get the best out of the players you've got. You can't say, well, the system wins and we're going to lose games. In fact, Gary Neville's still saying that. Gary Neville said it on the Overlap podcast the other day. He said Ruben Amorim would be better losing games badly in the system that he wants to play than trying to adapt to try and win games. What is that? What are you as a manager? You're not. For me, if you're willing to lose games to stick stubbornly to a style of play, you're not a manager anymore. It's stupid. Stupid. Southampton should get Slaven Bilic, former West Ham boss. I love the Slaven Bilic story with Harry Redknapp. Have you seen that? If you've not, go on YouTube. It's the best footy story ever. It's so good. It's where he talks about, because Harry Redknapp signed Slaven Bilic when he was West Ham manager. And he talks about him, he was walking through the airport in wherever he was going to. Where were they? They were in somewhere like Russia, that was it. They were in Russia for the World Cup, I'm sure they was. They were in Russia, in Moscow airport, and Harry Redknapp was walking through Moscow airport, and he bumps into him. He goes, "Oh, Slaven, how you doing, mate? Bloody hell!" And he puts the phone down on whoever he was talking to, and he's talking to this guy. He goes, "Slaven, oh, come here," and he gives him a big hug, and he's like, "Oh, where are you going? Where are you off to?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm going back home." And Harry Redknapp's like, "Oh, you're going back to Croatia? Oh, right, okay, no problem. Are you got a job over there now? Are you going, are you managing Dynamo Zagreb or whoever?" And this guy goes, "Oh, no, I'm just, just in an office." And Harry Redknapp's like, oh, okay, mate, yeah, okay. Let's get a coffee. I've not seen you for ages. Let's sit down. Sits down, gets a coffee. And he starts talking to this guy and very quickly realises it's not Slaven Bilic. He's just randomly collared a guy in Moscow airport who looks a lot like Slaven Bilic. It's brilliant. Have a look at it. It's so funny. Eugene, what's it? Well, that was easy. What was easy? You talk about Newcastle. FM No Casuals, it's going to be Lallana. Yeah, it probably will be Lallana, won't it? Lallana will retire and he'll get the job full time. That wouldn't surprise me. Southampton should try Pep Linders or Dirk Kuyt. He's managing now. Dirk Kuyt's in Belgium, isn't he? Yeah, he's in Belgium. Is it... what are they called? Beer Shot. The purple kit. Beer Shot. They're managed by Dirk Kuyt. I'm sure they are. No, he's been sacked. Has he really? I know Pep Linders has been sacked. Pep Linders is free. He might want a job in the Championship. That might suit him. End parachute payments. I genuinely think that a big part of... oh, that's a foul and a yellow card. Must be. Liveramento's been hauled down there. Yeah, that's a yellow card. Pep Linders would be good at Southampton. Leicester should go for Gerrard. I kind of don't want to see ex-Liverpool players managing. It kind of makes me a little bit sad. Because invariably they're not very good. There's not many ex-Liverpool pros who've gone on and done really well as managers. Xabi Alonso, is maybe one. I know Javier Mascherano's managing now, isn't he? Is it Inter Miami that Mascherano's managing at? I forget. There's quite a few players who are managing, but, they're not terrific. They're not terrific. We've had some disastrous ex-Liverpool players who've gone to be managers, and it's just not been right. Gerrard 7-1, Sean Dyche 6-1. I don't think Gerrard goes and manages in the Championship. We're talking about a guy who managed at Rangers, took them to the brink of a European final, did really well, got them back winning things again. Went to Aston Villa, did have a good season at Aston Villa, albeit kind of fell apart at the end, sadly, and he cost Liverpool a league title. And then it fell to bits, and obviously Emery came in and took over that work. But I don't think Gerrard is that bad of a manager that he would take a step down to the Championship. I think Gerrard's a manager who, even after Etifak, he's probably looking at maybe a Brentford if Thomas Frank leaves. Gerrard would be one he would want to be targeting at, like a lower level Premier League side, or maybe a side on the continent again. He did well at Rangers. I think Gerrard would maybe go and manage, a team like Lille or Feyenoord, or like maybe the third or fourth best side in a country where he's never managed before. He seems like the type of guy who'd go and do that. Kane, love the hate DMs I get. You're lucky, mate. I don't tend to get too many hate DMs. I get quite a lot of hate comments. But they don't bother me. It's just good fun. I like it when people are creative. Me neither. Gerrard needs a break. Yeah, try French League. Gerrard is just... I think he's probably broken a little bit by Saudi, and I think he probably does just need a little bit of time away. Yeah, maybe time away makes the heart grow fonder, and other clubs look at him and go, yeah, he was a good manager at one point. Maybe we do try and give him a go on a temporary contract or something. Infinite Aura, yeah, maybe in the Brazil League. Gerrard might go back Rangers, actually. He could do. Barry Ferguson isn't doing all that well there. They have someone at Juventus. I get a few saying I save scum even though I post Champions League final losses. Gerrard to replace Ancelotti. Here we go. It's Xabi for Real Madrid. I think so, yeah. I think Xabi Alonso's almost certainly going to Real Madrid. But I do wonder where Andoni Iraola's going. Because something tells me Real Madrid would have taken Xabi Alonso last summer, and he's about to finish second with Bayer Leverkusen. They've not had a fantastic season. They've won nothing this year, and I think he maybe left. He stayed when he should have left last year. Alonso, his star was very high last year, and it's come down a little bit. And I think Bayer Leverkusen this summer are expecting a really, really big rebuild, because they're almost certainly... Tar's already confirmed that he's leaving. Alonso's probably leaving. Frimpong's probably leaving. Wirtz is probably leaving. There's probably a few others you'd look at and go, yeah, I think they're gonna be off in the summer. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting. But that idea I had, Kieran, that I messaged you about, I need a name for it. I'll have a look, mate. Again, I've not checked my Discord. I saw the message pop up, but I just saw that you'd messaged. I hadn't actually seen what the message is, because every time I click on my Discord, it says I've got messages, but I don't know where they are. a lot of the time, so I have to click on everything. Still getting used to that whole thing. Infinite Aura, how are you anyway, mate? Hope all's good. Shocking yesterday, eh? It wasn't that shocking. That was the really sad bit, I've got to be honest with you. It wasn't that shocking. I am good, though. Thank you. I hope you are, too. But it wasn't that shocking. I didn't think... there was a lot of people before the game, myself included, who thought Fulham would get at least a draw. And there was a brief moment where I was, dead excited when McAllister pings it into the top corner, thinking... Yeah, we've got this. We're okay. We've got this. And then, we just fell to bits. It's three errors, let's be straight. All 3 goals Liverpool were pretty poor on. Especially the first 2. The third one is probably a bit of good play by Rodrigo Muniz. I know Van Dijk gets a bit of a shove and he should be stronger, but it's a good touch, it's a good finish. I can live with the third goal. The first 2 are bad goals to concede. I have a serious question I need you to answer. Would it be stupid to suggest selling Alisson and keeping Kelleher and Marmoush? Decent cash from Ali. Yes, it would be stupid to suggest that. Alisson Becker is the best goalkeeper in the world. Kelleher is not the best goalkeeper in the world. We will get maybe 40 million for Kelleher. He's a very, very good young goalkeeper who... there's not a team, I don't think, in the top... I genuinely, I think he's better than Onana. I think he's better than any of the Chelsea keepers. I think he's better than Nick Pope. I think he's better than Matt Sells. I think he's better than every goalkeeper in the Premier League, bar Alisson, Martinez. I think even City would look at him. Really, I genuinely do. I don't think he would get him. City probably look for a slightly different profile of keeper. But he's a bloody good keeper, Kelleher. He really is. He's just behind a really, really good keeper. So, no, I would not be selling Alisson at all. He's a Liverpool legend. He'll stay at the club till the end of his contract and then leave. He's already talked about it. I think he'll go back to Brazil in 2027 when his contract ends. And next season he'll still be our number 1. So we'll have him, Mamadashvili, and maybe the year after he becomes number 2. For his last year at the club, he's probably in and out of the side a little bit. But I have no concerns with Ali at all. He's a brilliant, brilliant player. Isaac, has he had a shot on target yet? No, Angel, I don't think he has, I don't think he has. You messaged me back, John Joe. Oh, that one. Oh, I thought he was on about... You messaged me again today, didn't you? Didn't you message me again today? I thought you was on about a different idea. I thought it was a different one. Sorry. And Leicester the John Joe. I've got feelings, The one about you pick a player, I pick a player. That's the one. He's not better than Robert Sanchez. Which is exactly why I'd keep hungry Kelleher and let him and Marmadash fight it out. You can't have keepers fighting it out. It never works. You can't have keepers fighting it out, mate. I've never known that to work at any club. You have to have a very... The manager has to say at the start of the season, you're my number 1. You're my number 1. If you make a mistake, you're in again the next game. You're my number 1. You're my number 2. If he gets injured, you're in. If he has a run of terrible, terrible form, you're in. But otherwise, he's my number 1, you're my number 2. That's the only way it works in football. The only way. There's never, ever... Goalkeeper is the only position that works in, by the way. Every other position on the pitch, maybe bar centre-forward. Centre-forward's a little bit like that. You have to be very clear with your centre-forward that you're my number 1. Because they're confidence players, and goalkeepers are too. So yeah, I don't think for a second we should have maybe two potential number 1s. You can't keep changing your goalkeeper out week after week. It creates havoc at the back. you need consistent communication with your back four and your back five. And if you've not got that, you'll concede goals just because of that. And it won't be anything to do with the goalkeeper a lot of the time. Mamardashvili is quality. He's not done all that well at Valencia this season. He was brilliant last season. And maybe in the first half of this season, he's been very good. But yeah, second half of the season, he's had some issues. He's not been fantastic, which maybe is just a sign of the fact that he knows he's going. And it'd be human nature, wouldn't it, to kind of detach. Because you're already thinking, what should I get? Should I get the driveway done in yellow or black when I get to Liverpool? Like, it's that sort of stuff. What colour car should I get? What car should I get when I move to England? What car should I get? Should we get something a bit bigger for the family, or should I get something a bit sportier, a bit racy? And he's doing all this in the last few months at Valencia, so I mean, it wouldn't be surprising at all that he's already thinking about moving away, because once it's done and dusted, it's sorted. Yeah, it's just human nature that you detach from the outcome. I feel bad for Kelleher walking. He's always been class for us. Just unlucky that Alisson exists. I mean, you don't feel bad, mate. That's the life of a football player, isn't it? He's a very, very good goalkeeper, and it's because of the fact that he's come in and took his chance that he's so well thought of. That that he will get a big move. That he might get a move to a Chelsea, for example. And Chelsea are one of the big front runners for Kelleher, apparently. Now, we're talking about a guy who's been Republic of Ireland #1 for a number of years now. He's been a really solid keeper for us in the Champions League. He's been a solid cup keeper. He's been a cup final winning goalkeeper. Saved big penalties for us in, final penalty shootouts. Scored in penalty shootouts for us in a final as well. Very few goalkeepers have scored for Liverpool in penalty shootouts. Quivian Kelleher has. Mamardashvili's been so good. Valencia bottom half of the table. The real top G of goalkeeping is Karius, though. Remember 2018 Champions League? What a guy. Oh, he's just signed. Who's he just signed for? Karius. I saw it. There was a post the other day that he just moved somewhere. Loris Karius. What a beautiful mane that is. He's gone back to Schalke. He's only 31. He is. I feel really bad for him, I don't feel bad for Kelleher, because Kelleher's got his career and he's going to be a fantastic goalkeeper and earning so well and doing all that good stuff. Karius he was so good at Mainz. He got called up to the German international team. He was playing for the under-21s. He was one of the best young goalkeepers around. He gets a big move to Liverpool. Liverpool get all the way to the Champions League final with him in goal. Like, his star is rising. He's doing so well. And then he makes one big, really high... Well, it's not one. It was like two, wasn't it? He makes two really big, high-profile errors in maybe the biggest game he's ever going to play in. Not even maybe. Definitely the biggest game he's ever going to play in. And from that moment, his career's just gone. His career's been broken. It's been 7 years since that moment. 2018, he went out on loan to Besiktas, barely played. Went to Union Berlin, barely played. Went to Newcastle, barely played. He's actually played more at Schalke since he signed for them, I think, in January, than he played in the last 5 years, I think, at Berlin and Newcastle. So he's played more in like 3 months than he has in the last 5 years before that. Sad. Very sad. Especially when you look at it, it's like mental health, isn't it? That's definitely a mental health thing. And he talked about that, didn't he, after the incident. It crippled him. If I'm United, I'm looking at the Freiburg goalkeeper. Who's the Freiburg goalkeeper? Or Freiburg, whatever we're saying. Freiburg. Is it Noah? Noah Atabulu, that one. Is that who we're talking about? I've not heard much about him. Noah Atubolu. Can't say I've heard much about him. The Mainz goalkeeper is a strong one. He's had a really good season. I forget his name now. And he's not a young goalie, like, but he's done all right. Mainz have been quite good defensively. He's kind of a bit like, I guess, in the Matt Sells mould. You know, an older keeper but playing really well. It's Atabolo, whose quality shows Restes from Toulouse. Who was the guy who went to Fiorentina? Was that Restes? No, it wasn't Restes. There was a player who went to Fiorentina from France and it didn't quite work out. Who am I thinking of? I'm sure he was a French goalie. That's going to do my head in. Saved 4 penalties in one game. Third most clean sheets in the league. Only 20. Lafont, that was it. Alban Lafont. He played for Nantes, didn't he? Played for Nantes. The head's gone tonight. Yeah, Alban Lafont. Went to Nantes. Went to Fiorentina. Didn't quite work out. David De Gea took his spec. Where is he now? Lafont. Remember him being good on FIFA back in the day. He's 26. Oh, he's back in Nantes. There you go. Toulouse, Fiorentina, Nantes. Oh, he was Toulouse before. That's why. Because you've said Restes. That's why. That's what triggered it. Yeah, he hasn't played for the French national team. But he was playing for the under-21s up until 4 years ago. So mad. You get loads of players who get to that level, don't they? They do well up to a point and then just fall off a cliff. Prem Dad, you might disagree, but I'd get Pogba in our midfield. He's unbelievable. Oh, behave yourself, Edward. Come on. Don't say things like that. Pogba. Infinite Aura, name a football player everyone's forgotten about. Yannick Bolasie. Yannick Bolasie still playing? He's not still playing. Did he have to still be playing? Is that what we're saying? Yannick Bolasie. He's playing for Cruzeiro. Oh, okay. I did a list. I think we talked about this. I don't know if you were in the group at the time. But given we've only got like 5 people in the chat, let's go through it. I'll talk. I was going to do a video on it. And in the end, I decided against it. But I might well do anyway. No, I'll do it. I'll do the video. I'm not gonna ruin me ideas. But I was looking through some players basically who are still playing that you didn't realise that you'd have forgot are still playing. Pogba is in Portugal now. Where's Pogba? Paul Pogba. No, he's a free agent according to this. Yeah, apparently he's a free agent. 32 years old. Hasn't kicked a ball in over 18 months. I mean, he's banned. I think he's still trying to get his ban lifted, isn't he? Which reminds me, why do you do such short videos? I don't do such short videos. What I do is I do my YouTube channel. So I don't know if you've been and looked at the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel videos are typically between 10, 20, sometimes 40 minutes long. I've done some big YouTube videos. And then I'll chop them and splice them and upload them to TikTok as shorts, as reels. It's the same with the lives. I'll sometimes use, if these are good lives, right, so this one's probably not a great live because there's only like 4 people in. And I think that's because TikTok have done something with my account. I don't know why. There was a warning that popped up during the Ipswich and Wolves game that said something about don't ask people for coins. Now, again, if you've been in my lives, you know I don't ask anyone for coins. I'm not bothered. I don't want them. And if you're giving me, great, fantastic, lovely, love them to bits, really nice of you, really kind of you. If you can contribute, if you can help, brilliant. But that's not what I'm about. And I got a message saying, or a pop-up saying, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do all this sort of thing. And I don't know why, but since then I've only been able to get about 4 people in the live. So, yeah, I have no idea. But you only get paid 1 min plus. No, you only get paid once you've got, I think, 10,000 plus followers. Once you've got 10,000 plus followers on TikTok and you start doing regular videos, yes, then you start getting paid. Through TikTok, anyway. But there's lots of different ways you can get paid. There's lots of different ways you can get paid through TikTok. You can get paid through YouTube ad revenue. You can get paid through various affiliate links. You can get paid through all sorts of things. As of now, I make diddly. I do it all for the love. But I'm still very new to it. I'm only 3 months in. But I'm not interested at all in begging. I don't do that. I will never ever do that. If people want to help and want to support the channel, not support me, support the channel in terms of helping me, because it all gets reinvested. Literally, I mean, there's a camera here that's worth a bit of cash that I bought to start the channel with, and I've realised it's got a 4K setting on it. Now, you might not want to see this ugly mug in 4K, but it does have a 4K setting. I don't know how you do a 4K setting on it. It literally physically won't turn on the 4K setting. So a lot of my shorts look quite grainy, and sometimes on the lives, the audio goes a little bit off, like 1 second off. I don't know how to fix that. So I'm still learning it all. And in an ideal world, I'd have someone who's a lot more tech savvy than I helping me editing and doing all the stuff that I'm rubbish at. I didn't want to gift, but as you keep pushing us to gift, I'll gift. Chill. Mate, thank you. You really didn't have to, but I appreciate it. I do. You're a top guy. That was an April Fool's joke. Edward, you can't do April Fool's jokes like 6 days after April Fool's. You get till lunchtime on the 1st and that's it. It's a morning thing just on the April Fool's Day. I don't know what lit up TikTok even is. Honestly, it does me head in. I don't know why I've only got 3 in the live or 4 in the live, because honestly, the vast majority of these lives get like 200-300 people in, so I can only assume TikTok are playing silly beggars and they've limited my account for some reason for a little bit. But they don't tell you. They just say, oh yeah, we thought that this was happening, so it was limited, so good luck. So that'll mean the Champions League games tomorrow night are going to be fun. Hopefully it's off by then. Champions League games are usually quite good fun. Arsenal, Real Madrid tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing a live stream for that. Arsenal, Real Madrid. Live stream on Wednesday night for PSG against Villa. Live streams on Thursday night for Chelsea away at Legia Warsaw. That's 5:45 in the Conference League. And then 8 o'clock, Lyon against Manchester United. Come on, Lyon. So we've got loads going on. Infinite Aura, don't stop streaming though. I promise I'll be here every stream. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Well, listen, I have give myself, just between us lads, given there's only like 4 of us in here, I've give myself till Christmas. I've got till Christmas, right? I've got a family. I've got to put bread and food on the table. I know I don't look like I'm necessarily struggling on the food front, and I'm not. But I've given myself till Christmas to make a go of this, to make it something that I could potentially, not make. I don't want to be a millionaire. I don't want to make loads of money. But, just make a bit of a living. Just make enough that I can pay the bills and, buy my little girl some sprunkies or whatever these. Have you seen these things? I don't know if you've got kids or whatever, but Sprunky, she's mad on these toys at the minute. So yeah, if I can make a living by Christmas, Premier League Dad will go into 2026. If I am not making a living by Christmas, you're welcome to the channel. Someone can have it gratis. Someone can buy it from me if they want. The channel will be gone by January next year. And I will disappear into the ether, back into maybe a sales job again, or I'll go back into advertising, or I'll go back into recruitment, or I'll go back into whatever. I don't know. I'll go and do a job. John Joe mixed with Gru ain't too popular. United seasons all hanging on the Leon game. Leon, not Lille. But yes, they are. It is. It's entirely hanging on that, as is Tottenham's in the Eintracht Frankfurt game. Both of them are going to be really interesting. Be really, really interesting. Edward, never give up, man. Please don't give up. It takes time. No, I know. Listen, I know. I'm quite content at where the channel is, given I've only started 3 months ago. So it's got legs. It's got legs. I'm doing okay. I don't expect to blow up at all. But even if I can just make a little bit, just a little tiny bit, just to get, cover the costs, cover the investment into it, just so I'm not down by Christmas, I'll be happy and I'll keep going. So I've got till Christmas. I've got certainly till Christmas. Infinite Aura, can I help you? I'm good with editing. I don't mean it in a bad way. Your TikTok page looks messy, the thumbnails, etc. I agree. That the problem with the thumbnails is a lot of it is AI in terms of the scheduling, the upload schedule. So yeah, it's like if you look at Kane's, for example, Kane's thumbnails are a lot better. But I have no idea how I could automate all that and do it. I just haven't. To post the amount that I do and do the YouTube videos that I do, it takes up so much time. So I have no idea how I could do proper thumbnails for all the shorts as well. That would be either getting very organised and using AI a lot better than I do, which admittedly is a possibility, or getting someone else's help with it. But I don't know. I agree though. I absolutely agree. They need work. There's loads of stuff I can get better at, which is always nice, because it would be infuriating if I was doing everything perfect and I still wasn't super rich and famous. But yeah, look, I know I agree, mate. If you've got ideas, if you've got anything you think that could help, mate, honestly, I won't take it personally, and you can give me really bad feedback. I'm used to brutal feedback. I like it. It's good. It's always the only way you learn and get better. So yeah, if you've got ideas, drop me a message or whatever, whack it in the chat. Shame me publicly. It's all good. Kane, think me and you started same time, Keith. We did. Yeah, we did. I mean, like I said, you're flying. You're doing really, really well. Really, really well. Edward, haven't posted in ages. Don't know what to do or talk about. I like so many things. Just gotta start, mate. Honestly, like, what's the expression? Perfection is the enemy of progress, or something like that. Like, it's sometimes it's just better to do it. Don't try and make it perfect. Just do it. Like, you don't want to post crap, but equally it's better to post something than nothing. And you'll always have rubbish videos. It's like when I look back at my very, very first ones, even though it's only 3 months ago, it's only in January, I look back at the first videos and think, they weren't very good. And the ones I'm posting now, they're not great. But I'll look back at them, I'm sure, in another 3 months, in June, July time, I'll look back and go, what on earth was I posting? But as long as you're getting better each time, it's all good. I'd recommend it to anyone, assuming you've got time and you don't take things personally. And you don't mind abuse. You get a lot of abuse. And you get threats as well, you know. That's another thing you've got to be quite strong-headed about. You'll get threats. I've had people messaging me saying, you know, they know where to live and stuff. Because I said that Ethan Wanyeri might leave Arsenal one day. You're a bit like, all right, mate. You know, we disagree, but chill out. It's all good. I tell you what the problem is with your videos, Key. You sit too close to the camera. Fuck off. Edward, I've got over 4k followers, so I've not done too bad. You haven't, mate. Like I said, you know, everyone grows at their own rate, and some followers aren't always, you know, there's people who've got 20, 30, 40,000, but still only get a couple of hundred views on the videos. And there's some people who, like, look at Kane. Kane, perfect example. Couple of thousand followers, millions of views. So, you know, it's different. It's different for different people, different audiences. Kane's doing really, really well. He'll do even better if he stops calling me John Joe Shelby. I think the stream screen here is a bit boring. Like, even the scoreboard looks like it's from World War II. It's free. Do you know how much this cost? Honestly, the subscription to buy a scoreboard is absolutely massively expensive. Like, hundreds of pounds a month for like a Mark Goldbridge style, do you know, like an interactive scoreboard. It's like super expensive, and like with the best will in the world, I haven't got it. If I had it, I'd spend it on that. Believe me, I would spend it on stuff like that. I would buy things that would make the whole editing process look a bit nicer, a bit prettier, but you can't always do it. Like I said, sometimes it's just about doing it and not worrying about it being perfect. It does a job. It fits-ish. So, yeah, in time, I will upgrade. Hopefully for the new season. Maybe for the new season we'll get a lovely, pretty scoreboard. Imagine the hate the big streamers get. Oh, I know. Again, Goldbridge just talked quite a lot about that as well. That Leon winger is out. ACL injury. Looks like he would have caused us problems. Which one is it? Neumer? Is Neumer out? Oh, that's grim. I mean, they've still got some other good players. Still, you know, some other talented players in there. So I don't necessarily think that's the end of the world. But yeah, he would. You're right. I agree with that. He definitely would have been. But you don't need to pay for it. Just edit your own one and change the scores yourself. Make it smaller above your head, then make you the centre of attention, not the ugly scoreboard. I could do that. In fact, I might be able to do that on the stream now. Here, what if I moved it up there like that? Do you reckon that's better? Yeah, let me see if that's better. Should we do that? Is that better? Should we do that? Let's do that. Here. There you go. Hey, look at that. Look at me taking feedback on board. Have a bit of that, Kane. Man skipped my comment. Yeah, well, you get that. That's what you get. I tell you, I didn't even skip your clock. I make thumbnails in 5 minutes. Yeah, but you make thumbnails in 5 minutes, and that's... how many... All right, you're better than me at thumbnails. Fine. Fine, you're better than me at thumbnails. And you use all the same stuff as me, don't you? Don't you use, like, Opus and OBS and... We need to compare notes. Get on the Discord. Share me some notes on what you're doing. Help a brother out. No, the one about your nose. Right, you're dangerously close. Also, don't know why you use Streamlabs when OBS is miles better. I don't know how I can use OBS to stream in the way that Streamlabs allows me to. Streamlabs seems a lot more user-friendly. I use OBS for editing, and I use OBS for every other video that I make, but I've never used OBS for multi-streaming. Maybe I need to. Maybe I should give that a whirl. I don't use Opus, but I'm amazing at Opus. Kane, he won't ban you. Don't worry, only 4 people. Right. I'm getting fucking absolutely raging here. Just because there's only 4 of you don't mean you can take the piss. I'm trying. We've not even spoke about the game. It's the 83rd minute. Leicester are rubbish anyway. He doesn't even know how to bat. Yeah, I do. In fact, here, watch. Yeah, I see. Here we go. You're going to get now. Watch this. Oh, I can't. Mute account. You're muted, Kane, for this live. Ah, you're muted, lad. Have a bit of that. I've muted you. You can't even comment. I'll unmute you. There you go. You're unmuted now. You're unmuted. Unmuted. See? You are done, Chief, because I've got the mute button on you now. I'm not bad at editing and making thumbnails. I stand with Kieran. No need to that now, guys. Kane has just shut you down, mate. I can't breathe. You just unmuted me. Most uncool time. All right, cool. Right, there you go. See, you just don't. That's your problem, Kane. You don't know when to shut up. You don't know when to shut up. You've just been muted, lad. That's you done. You've been buttoned. I'm down to 4 viewers now. Because Kane, I think he can still view. But he's been muted. You ain't commenting in this now. Leicester flying forward. Newcastle clear it away. Kane, go and make a thumbnail, calm down and come back. He's got no chance now, no choice. Listen, you poke the bear and you get the claws. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. That's what's happened. Muted. Leggy. He's sending roses though. Is he actually? I've not seen him send roses. Oh, he actually has as well. He's sending roses. Is this him apologising? Go on, he's got 11 roses. I'll unmute him for the 11 roses. Can I unmute him? How can I unmute him? Kane talks football. I can't even unmute him. I can't unmute him. Kane, I apologise. I don't even know how to unmute you. I don't know how to unmute you. Oh, I can. There you go. I've unmuted you now. Right, he's back in. He's back in now. Muted Kane goes up to 7 people. Oh, if you can give it, you can take it. Absolutely right, Edward. It's a big bird. Right, fucking super mute now. Super mute. He's back on mute. That's it. Done. He doesn't know. He doesn't know when to shut up. That's it. It's just simple. It's simple. You can't fly in, knocking the John Joe Shelby shouts, calling me big nose, saying I've got shit thumbnails. You're forgetting. Popper's got the mute button, and I know how to use it now. So you're done. Unlucky. Done and dusted. Kane's gone. And do you know what? And no amount of roses now. That's it. No amount of roses. Kane's all talk now. Newcastle game's almost over. He don't care. I know he's pushed the nuclear button, hasn't he? He's pushed the nuclear button. He just doesn't care. He's thrown caution to the wind. He's flew in with his size 14s, thinking he's Big Bear. But hey, whatever. It's all good. Kane talks what he's reposted it. Like, stop flirting now because you've been muted. He's whacked. He's sent 2 oh my gods, whatever they are, and shared the live. It's no good sharing the live now. We've got 6 minutes left. And to be honest, it's been an awful game. You could say that sort of stuff to him for a laugh, but you don't. Listen, we're all good. We're all friends here. Kane knows I'm only playing. I wish I knew he was only playing about the Big Burr and the John Joe stuff, but hey, water off a duck's back. It's all good. You'll be muted tomorrow as well. Oh, I have got to remember to unmute the lad. To be fair, I don't even know if I can unmute him. Let's have a look. Is he still in the... He's not even in the chat anymore. He's not even in the chat. I think that might mean he's back for the next one. I assume. I don't know if he can join the live again, but whatever. Hopefully he's back tomorrow. I'm sure I'll get a message off him after this just saying, let me back in for the next one. Oh, here we go. He's changed account. I knew that'd be coming. There you go. That one's gone. We're not having that. Muted. Think I'm not on to you? You think I was born yesterday? I know your game, sunshine. Right, there you go. I'll let you back in. I've unmuted you for a bit. I sent you some depressing video by accident a week after I sent it. Did you? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not trying to be all like... I get loads of messages, you know. I just don't see them. I really don't see them. So don't worry, I didn't think you was weird or anything. You can send me a message. I usually do respond to him. But oftentimes they go into... Do you know on TikTok, I don't know if you get this, but it comes up and it's like message request. And there's like usually 150 messages most of the time from extraordinarily pretty girls who have like 3 followers. And I've tried replying to them, they never come back to me. But yeah, you get loads of them accounts who message you. A lot of my messages go into there for some reason. What's your Mackey's order? Loads of messages from plastic surgeons. I'm not even talking anymore. We're going to have a sponsored silence for the last 5 minutes. This depressing. Yous are supposed to be lifting me up and... There you go. There's the other joke. Go on, Kane. Set you up for that one. Leicester corner. You left me on red and I was thinking, is this guy going to think I'm weird? Nah, mate, I didn't think you were weird. Not any more than I did anyway. It wasn't because of that. Cheeseburger, no sugar. What's my Mackey's... Honestly, Mackey's order. Ain't no one lifting you up. Good one. Mackey's order's probably... I mean, I'm a simple creature. Just nuggets. I'm not a lover of burger or any of that stuff. The YouTube live tonight is just getting binned. It's pointless. We've not even talked about the game. It's been a horrendous game. After the 3-0, that was it. There's nothing else to talk about this second half. It's been pretty poor for what it's worth. So I might end up just deleting the YouTube live. Yeah, it's been a pretty poor one. Sponsored by Bump Paste. Honestly, not trolling. What is your Mackey's order? I get the sweet chilli chicken wrap and fries and an iron brew. Oh yeah, you get iron brew up in Scotland, don't you? Yeah, no. I'm pretty simple. Nuggets. Can live without the chips. I used to quite like Mackey's breakfast. I haven't had one for a while, but I used to quite like a Mackey's breakfast. But it genuinely wouldn't bother me if I never had a Mackey's again. I hate them. They make you feel awful. especially now you get older. I've been here since 55th minute. We've talked about everything but the game. I know, but it's because there's been like 4 people or 5 people max in the chat. There's nothing to bounce off, and yeah, I've probably not been at my best tonight. It's been a poor game. It's not been anything doing. Leicester are pretty much down. The game was over after 15 minutes. And I've just had insult after insult from an unnamed member of the chat. Kieran, your views doubled when you banned me. Well, there you go. Maybe that's what needs to happen in future. Like I said, don't tempt fate. That might be what happens. Maybe that is what needs to happen. Chance, nearly 4. Just as we're talking about the game being awful and being over, nearly a goal. Everybody's kung fu fighting. Yeah, we've got a few minutes left, and then we'll call it quits. We'll call it quits as soon as it's full time. That's me done. It's been on the 82nd minute for 10 minutes now. I shut the score, but honestly, I am deleting the YouTube recording of this live. I am deleting it. It's been a bad day at the office, this one. It's been a very bad day at the office. Yeah. It is what it is. Prem Dad, to me, you're only about 16, 17 stone. You're not that big, bro. I'd have cut off both my arms for it to be 16, 17 stone, kid. No, I'm not actually. If you really want to see how much I weigh or how much I did weigh, go and have a look at the other TikTok channel, the weight loss channel. Still fighting that good fight. He's literally not big though. Pretty big. Kind of a big deal. Ooh, I was a little bit naughty, unlucky. I got called a chubster today because I suggested Ethan Nwaneri was, would look for a move away from Arsenal. Someone said, "Calm down, chubster," and it got 40-something likes. That comment. I was quite offended by it actually, a little bit disappointed. But hey, some people weren't raised right. What can you do? I follow the channel. I'm a real one. I follow both. There you go, Edward. Edward knows the score. Edward's the real G. Come on, ref. Blow up. There you go. Full time. Full time. It's all done and dusted. Thank the Lord. This game is over and this stream is over. I am done. I am ready for Arsenal and Real Madrid tomorrow. Hopefully none of yous are in the chat. And when I say none of yous, I mean all of yous except Kane. But yeah, wait till Saliba leaves for Madrid. Yeah. Don't let it get to you, mate. I think you're sound for real, mate. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Whether I'm sound enough to, be making, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just a few £100 from this by the end of the year, I'd be delighted. But if not, then, hey, listen, nice knowing you. It's been lovely knowing. But we've got a bit of time left. Then we've got a bit of time before it gets to that. We've got maybe another 6 or 7 months before it reaches that point. Hopefully, by that point, the channel's big. I get some more subscribers in, and I don't have to talk to peasants. No offense, peasants like you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, mate. I'm always here. Good lad. If none of us have no viewers, it's been nice knowing you. In other words, K blocked. Listen, I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm sure we won't grow from 4 to like 400 tomorrow in one night. If we do, then again, great. That's probably been because we've blocked Kane. But I'll be here tomorrow night for Arsenal Real Madrid. Here for PSG Villa on Wednesday. Here for Legia Warsaw, Chelsea and Lyon United on Thursday. No stream on Friday. And then back again on Saturday. So we've got absolutely loads. Listen, if you stop streaming, I will start streaming your old streams. Do it. That might help me. That might help me. I need all the help I can get. Let's be straight. I mean, I've got World War II scoreboards. I look like an orc. I look like John Joe Shelby. Apparently, nobody can lift me up. I'm a chubster. There's not a lot going for me. My thumbnails are shit. It's been a pretty emotional video, this, guys. So I've got to be honest with you. It's been a pretty. You've torn me to shreds. I'll make a montage of Kieran moments. Good luck. Right. I'm going to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I don't know why I told you that, like you're on a completely different time zone, but it's nearly 10 o'clock. I'm going to bed, and then I'll be up ready to make some more horrendous thumbnails for tomorrow night's Real Madrid-Arsenal game. Take it easy. Have a nice night. Have a good one. Love you to bits. See you tomorrow.